Perhaps you're struggling with sexual dysfunction as a result of the infidelity, or maybe the whole sexual thing was a problem prior to the infidelity. You want to just be there to love each other and to enjoy each other. Frequently people ask me how in the world they could ever be sexual again. And I understand that rekindling desire after infidelity can certainly be challenging. And it's a place where you have to look at yourself and face a lot of fears. However, some of you may think it's an impossibility, but we know that if we're attacked and have a knife wound, that our bodies are capable of actually healing from that. And psychic wounds are no different. We can also heal from psychic wounds, and we can be responsible for us, and we can find a way to heal and reconnect, rekindle that desire if we wish. And remember that in this journey through infidelity, the goal isn't to recapture what you once had, but it's to build a new life and to build a new marriage and to find something that's even better as you go forward. So please use this as a catalyst, an opportunity to begin to try to do something different. Now, obviously, this isn't a problem for all couples, but it's certainly a problem for many couples. And that reconnecting, you have to be willing to risk. I believe that to love is to risk. And this is probably the place, our physical intimacy, where we feel most vulnerable. But also be patient with yourself. It's going to be about progress, not perfection. As I always say, practice makes progress. And if you're thinking that you have to be able to get it right, or that you shouldn't have struggles, or you shouldn't have to work through things, that's going to shut you down pretty quickly. So just understand right now, it's about small wins. It's not about all or nothing. What you're going to be going for in the beginning is good enough sex. If you were the one who was betrayed, you're going to have to work at understanding it's good enough sex. It's not about trying to compare yourself to the other person. And hopefully, if you're the one who strayed, you're also not thinking that you've got to be something for your mate that you've never been for them either. Oftentimes, couples struggle with flashbacks. That's one of the number one things that people talk to me about. And I found that if you can just stay connected through eyes open, looking at each other while you're being sexual, you're going to find that helps a great deal. Because the eyes are the window to the soul. And just being able to see into their eyes lets you know they're present with you. But it also causes you to stay present in the moment. And by doing that, you don't get drugged back, hopefully, into these images and videos that you've been playing in your head. Sometimes people experience just a lack of desire. In my mind, probably the biggest desire killer is going to be resentment. And so if you're still holding on to resentments and you would still like to be able to reconnect, but you're finding trouble finding desire, please figure out, how do I let it go? How do I move through the pain rather than stuffing the pain or just trying to ignore the pain? And again, I'm not talking to just one of you. I'm talking to both sides of the fence here. Because the fact is, some of you may have held on to resentment for years. And if that's the case, you're going to have trouble coming back together. You need to start again. Do something very, very different. Begin to educate yourself. Learn about sexuality. It's so strange to me. Cosmo and magazines, they tell us all about great orgasms, but nobody's teaching us really what sexuality is about. So, Emily Nagoski's book, Come As You Are, great book. And she talks about the parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system, what she refers to as the brakes and the accelerators on our sexuality. And oftentimes we come into marriage and we still have the same brakes and accelerators after infidelity, but we come into marriage with our sexual system really set and beginning to understand how those systems work and what sexual context work well for us and how to make it safe and how to have conversations. It's going to be something you have to be intentional about. Reading Emily Nagoski's book, I think, is a great way to begin to understand sexuality potentially in a different way. It's up to you to fix your own sexuality. Your mate can't necessarily fix you. I always tell people you're going to be responsible for your own pleasure and quit taking responsibility for your mate's pleasure. I don't want you to try to come back together in the old way, but my hope for you is that you find a new way, because this is your best chance after going through this crisis to use this as a catalyst to begin to grow up. Please check out our full-length video and other resources linked in the description below. To healing.